I'm Jessica Peresta, host of the Elementary Music Teacher Podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network. Shows on the network are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shanna Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology and instructional coach for my district.
And I'm her producer and husband, Fuzz Martin, and I am the whiz behind the mic. I don't know. Still working on Prodigy puns, I guess.
Whiz. You could be like a wizard.
Yeah, like...
Or...
Oh, yeah. Or I was thinking Whiz Kid, you know.
Yeah. Also, we could just like do the 90s band reference.
I'm like Doogie Howser DJ instead of Doogie Howser MD.
Yes. You're a fire starter.
Yes. Wicked.
What?
Wicked fire starter.
So it's always fun in the summer. We do our little check-in. And so we're not quite to season 6 yet, which will start in the fall, like late August, early September. We are done with season 5. So this is like episode 5.5.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
It's summertime.
And the living's easy.
And it is, yeah, right. Busy per always, because in the summer, while we're not on the school schedule, we're on the summer schedule, which is a little more chaotic, you know?
Yeah. And you decided you're going to go all in with PD this year. So
yeah, running PD for my district stuff. So planning workshops and doing all that kind of stuff. And then I also like threw in a grad class in there. So why not? I can learn too. I like to learn in the summer.
Yeah.
You know, it's busy, but it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully at this point you get a little break built in. Hi, and welcome to all of my new listeners. I love a good, like, people jump in the summer when they have time and start downloading and listening to podcasts while they mow the lawn and garden and take walks and have some time. So welcome to all the new people, and hello to all of my listeners from all of the time in the past. So yeah, it's summertime. It's fun. It's busy, but I have a website. If you didn't catch on before, it is Prodigy. I have thought that I have discussed Prodigy. I thought I discussed Prodigy in the past. It is a staple in our house. Our youngest is a fan of math. And so there is a lot of Prodigy that happens in the summer. And this site is fantastic and can be used in the school year or in the summertime. So whether you're a teacher, whether you are a parent, whether you teach 1st grade through 8th grade, they have something for you. Yes. And not just math. They also have ELA practice as well. So there's all kinds of cool things. So highlights. Let's talk about Prodigy. Prodigy, the website itself is PRODIGY game.com. So prodigygame.com. And what a cool site. It is definitely full of practice and support, and it is curriculum aligned, which is fantastic, aligns with standards. It is free. And the free stuff is like not just like, you get like free for 2 weeks or you'll get part of it. Like the free stuff is pretty amazing and lots of fantastic practice. I will probably specifically talk more about math today because that's what I have open. But ELA, they also have support for reading and language arts too, which is amazing. And it's not just multiple choice. They do have that built in, but also you can type in your answers and there's just all different types of things. So if you are a teacher or a student or a parent, you can choose how you want to sign in. So when you get to the website, they have all kinds of good little facts and information about the site itself. And then you can go to like game. And if you're a kid, you can go play now. You can have your membership. They do have paid versions that like upgrade what magic your kids can use and things like that. And you can gift them rewards and stuff like that. But the free version for kids that are practicing, you just want to try it out, there are plenty of things to do that way. So it is fantastic. Are you playing? You look very engaged.
Yeah, I'm playing around. I'm not actually playing
with the
playing
wizards.
the game. No, I'm looking at the some of the more information about the site. Would I play a game in the middle of a podcast? No way. No.
Yeah, we'll talk about all those typing games later. So when you get to it, you can select your game mode, and kids can choose if they're working from home or if they're working from school. They can pick and choose. If you're a teacher, you can sign up, you create your free account, you have access to your students, you can see what they're doing. If you're at home, you're a parent, you can see what they're doing as well. So you kind of pick what you're going to do. Home, there's different advantages. So you got like daily prizes, exclusive items, customize your character. I'm sorry, because they have little avatars they can decorate and make all cute and pick their hair color and all kind of stuff. Free to play. School, there's different limits on it because that's when your teacher then can, as a teacher, you can control it. So it just depends on which mode you want to play or how you want to try it out. And then, of course, you can choose math or English. Math, they've had around a little longer. English, math is through 8th grade. English is through 6th grade. So you can pick and choose. And then once you get into it, you can say teacher or not teacher, and you can just move forward with if you're joining your teacher's class or if you're just playing on your own. And then from there, you are okay to get your little avatar up in the morning, and they're like heading off on these adventures to go through their daily skills, which is actually like defeating creatures and going through and collecting these gems and doing all these cool little wizard battles and things like that. So there's lots of like a game type atmosphere, but there's so much learning that happens while they are gaming at the same time, which is super engaging for the kids. What I appreciate, like if they're doing math, so first of all, it's very like kid friendly. So it tells you like, do not use your real name. Like they actually like put those things in there, like make sure that you make good choices. So I appreciate that they're reminders for kids that you don't want to have your information out online, which is great. And then when you get to the actual math portion of it, it also has those online tools, which sometimes we forget that kids, like when you have to do those standardized tests, you have to be able to manipulate online tools. So if you're looking for number blocks, if you were looking for the highlighter, if you were looking for those different pieces, when they're playing Prodigy and they're doing a battle and they're picking a math question and they're going to go through and do their practice, not only can they just like figure it out on paper next to them, but also they are able to go through and use those tools to be able to practice. So if you're in the middle of a problem, you're like, oh, I don't know how to do all that. You can pull out your base 10 blocks. You can pull out, there's little fraction breakdowns if you need to like have a visual on your fractions. And then you have a wizard battle, and then they give you more math problems. And as you complete your questions, you get more power. And then you are able to have these like wizard battles. And so you have all these math tools, everything you're working digitally. There's counters and all those types of things. Once you get the question right, it'll say correct. And then you can get your magic. Another cool piece is that it reads out loud. So you do have the option. So kids, if they're struggling with reading the question, because sometimes math vocabulary gets a little tricky and you're unsure, there's little like light bulbs that give you clues, like what an equation should look like.
Okay.
And then they also have the read out loud button where it will read out the question to you, which is really helpful. So that way kids can hear what they're seeing, which is awesome. And then it kind of just helps them process the whole piece. So they can go through, they can do all of that information, practice their math, and then work their way through all of these levels. And there are lots and lots and lots of levels, which is great. But like our youngest, sometime we're like, hey, you got to get off the math because there's so much math that happens because she's very excited about playing Prodigy. So there's so many cool ways that you can build that in to your lessons and in your classroom for extra practice, but also at home in the summer, or parents, if you're at home and you're like, hey, my kid needs to be busy. Why don't they work on some math or some ELA practice? Because they can do that in Prodigy as well. So it is a fantastic site, and there's just tons of resources and ways that you can like support your student achievement and promoting like all of these different skill sets that happen while they're playing with Prodigy as well. So there you go.
There you go.
So many cool things.
My character is running right now.
Oh, so you are playing.
No. So they do quote a whole bunch of different types of stats on their site about, 96% of parents and teachers surveyed were satisfied with Prodigy, and one school district students mastered an average of 68% more math school skills per month when they used it. But it's all pretty cool, and it's very engaging. And
yeah, I think the biggest highlight is it aligns with your curriculum, and the kids love to practice math, and it's very gamified, which is awesome. They are definitely learning, and they get all those like tools and structures, and it's great practice and support along with, whatever you're doing in the classroom, which is great. So,
yeah, exactly. So prodigygame.com.
Yeah. So that's kind of fun. It's like a little like summer, like, hey, check this out, play at home. I mean, as an adult, you can play all you want because it's really kind of fun, and maybe build it into your classroom next year. So something to think about. Cool. So there you go.
Groovy.
So thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter or Threads
at SmartNWI.
And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit smartandwi.com. If you'd like to support the show, please consider buying me a coffee or two. Visit buymeacoffee.com/smartandwi or visit smartandwi.com and click on that cute little purple coffee cup. Your donations help keep this show going. New episodes starting in the fall. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart NWI website are those of the author Shanna Martin and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we sure hope they do. We'll talk to you next time here on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.